feeding tanks flail the fields for landmines seeded in the grain. Obscuring dust and a mix-up in signals confuse the supporting aircraft. Allied bombs fall among Canadian troops. There is some damage, and morale is shaken, but the danger passes, and the RCAF and British Typhoon squadrons strike furiously at the enemy ahead. Tough enemy troops dig in for their last defense. 2 German armies are at stake. In 2 days, the British and Canadians had fought the last 13 miles to Falaise. The birthplace of William the Conqueror was rubble. The pocket was a cauldron. Now they move on to close the gap. It was already sealed in from the air. The Allied air forces controlled the sky. And the Americans were coming fast from the south. If you had been there that summer, they said, you would always smell death in Normandy. A cloud of decay hung heavy on the hot summer air, and it hung heaviest over the gap. This August battle cost 1,479 Canadian lives, but the gap had been closed. There was little pity for the broken German from those who had lived 4 years in terror. 8 German divisions had been destroyed, and 16 more had been decimated. For 200,000 prisoners, the master race was a shattered dream. The Allies wheeled in pursuit. Crear's Canadian army, including British and Polish elements, took the coast. There were stiff skirmishes with the skillfully retreating Germans. But in a week, the Canadians reached the River Seine. On D+81, the Canadians crossed that river. There had been great human sacrifice in Normandy, Now they had reached the capital of that ancient province. It was September now, and cooler, as they climbed that last hill. The enemy was gone. Rouen was free. A grateful people were waiting. Further up the Seine, a liberated Paris cheered the long figure of Charles de Gaulle. The return to Paris thrilled the world, but for Canada, the highest drama waited in a small channel port. This is the 2nd Division, and there is a beach ahead and a bitter memory. A memory of an August day in '42, of an ill-starred raid, of 2,800 comrades killed or captured. They had often thought of these men and that beach, and how one day they would come again to Dieppe.